Hello. Oh, hi baby. You coming to say hello? You coming to say hello? No? Going back to bed. Okay. She's going back to bed. Hi guys, how are you? Sorry about there's something peculiar noises going on outside. I think it's the chickens next door, but I don't know. It's weird. It's like somebody playing with a plastic bag. Anyway, how are you? Just doing a update for One Book July today. Hello, Susan. Still going strong. I'm loving it. Who knew I would take to digital so well? Well, that's not true. I like digital, but who knew I could do all digital so easily? Hi, Anna. If you missed Wednesday's upload, go check it out. I managed to MacGyver my stylus. So my stylus usually looks like this. Teeny tiny little thing, very difficult to use, gives you cramp in your hands a lot. MacGyvered it into an Apple Pencil sleeve. This is so much better. So much better. Best thing ever. I've also done a test on my tablet. I left it for a full 12 hours to see if having the stylus out, overnight obviously, I left the stylus out. I wondered if it was going to sap the battery, because it does say in order to keep your battery working properly, if you're not using your stylus, put it back in the tablet, because it fits into the tablet there. Oops. It fits into the tablet there. And there's a setting for it that says, you know, reduce when something about when the pen is docked, as in that little hole, it switches off the receiver, so it saves battery. I left it for 12 hours overnight. It only lost 2% of the battery, which is maybe 1.5% more than it normally would over 12 hours. I think we can handle that. Obviously, if I was going to leave it for more than a day or something and not use it, then I would switch it off anyway. So that wouldn't make any difference. So yeah, I'm not bothered about having the stylus out. I've put this on here to stop, because this thing rolls around like crazy. Roly, roly, roly. You put it on a slight surface, rolls onto the floor. You put it on a slight thing, it rolls under the thing. I've rescued it from about 5 different places so far, including under the chair. So I put this on here to stop it rolling. But actually, it's also really handy because I can put it on a clip, or I can clip it in my bag or whatever, so I can, you know, not lose it. I do have a spare stylus, my old stylus, which is not very good. They must have a battery or something in, because this one is not as good as this one. But I've also got a new one on the way. So, hi Pam. You've inspired me to try digital. Woo! I've even ordered a stylus for my iPad. Oh, get in there. Like it. Should be here when I get home from Halls. Excellent. Excellent. I mean, the thing is with digital, you don't have to go all digital. You don't have to suddenly, you know, sell all your paints and go, oh, I'm never going to do paper again. It's another tool. I've gone all digital this month and I'm really enjoying it. I am loving the freedom of simple things like not having to clear up my desk, not having to remember to change my water all the time. Not, you know, just not needing a light. Oh my goodness, you can sketch in low light and you can still see what you're doing. AJ, hello. Oh, you finally made a live one. You're in the US, so the timing can be funky. Well, I do try and do them quite late. I do try and do them sort of either first thing in the morning or late in the afternoon. Because if I do them at this time, usually this is the middle of the night for Australia. So I try and do some at 10 o'clock in the morning so the Australians can get here as well. But yay, you're here. Awesome. So apart from my stylus update, nothing has really changed this week. I was going to try and see how to export. I was going to try and export to the printer to see how that worked. I haven't done that. I haven't got as far as that yet. I've been having far too much fun painting stuff. I've got really into digital painting and sketching, and I've been working on that basically. I have done a couple of bits and pieces that were fun. This actually I've got to change her because this is the not right one. So pretend she's finished. I've put an Apple Pen on my birthday list. Wanted it for a while, but it's pretty expensive. It is expensive. I think they assume, it's like with the apps, you know, if you're going to spend £600 plus for a piece of tech equipment, then an extra £100 for a pencil and an extra £10 for the app you want is neither here nor there. They tend to forget that some people scrimp and save that £600 so they can have one. But, you know, but yay, put it on your birthday list. Invested in the iPad Pro for school last year, but now a pen would be great. You've got an iPad Pro for school and you're not using it for notes. Oh my goodness me, I couldn't handle that. No, I would be using it for notes all the time. Or do you use it with a normal stylus? What was I saying? Anyway, today I thought I would just open the floor to Q&A. So if you've got any questions about digital journaling or anything like that, because I haven't really... I thought I would do a section on, you know, here's how you can do digital journaling. But really, it's exactly the same as normal journaling. I don't know why that surprised me, but it really is, you know, apart from the fact that it's so much easier to do pictures because you don't have to print them out and everything. It's exactly like digital journaling. You just do it the way you want to do it. But if you've got any questions, please put them in, put question in capitals and then ask your question, because I will miss it otherwise amongst all the chat. If we get a lot of chat, I won't be able to see it. So make sure you put question and I'll see if I can answer. Oh, you've got a tiny stylus that kind of works for now and you're typing. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, you're going to have so much fun that if you get one for your birthday, you're going to have so much fun going through YouTube looking at all the Studygram girls. What's her name? Mariana's Study Corner. Oh, she's fab. Her videos, she's only just got an iPad recently. But she studies law, which is a subject I'm familiar with because I did law. And the way she talks about what she does and how she does it, she does everything from very simple, here's how I organise a dashboard with some post-it notes, and here's how I organise my files on my computer, right the way through to here's how I use different note-taking systems for different case file stuff and, you know, actually doing law stuff. But her videos are so calming. I feel organised just watching her. She's amazing. Go check her out. Mariana's Study Corner. I think it's Mariana. It's either Miriam or Mariana. I'm pretty sure it's Mariana. I'll check in a minute. I'll check, shall I? There's a good idea. I was watching her yesterday, so it will be in my history somewhere. It is Mariana. Mariana's Study Corner. She's fab. She's just to watch her and listen to her speak. is enough to make you feel organised. Oh, you already are watching them in anticipation. Well, she's just got an iPad, so, and she has, funnily enough, she said the same thing as I have, that it doesn't change what you do, it changes how you do it. So her note-taking system is exactly the same, her filing system is exactly the same, it's just digital instead of analogue. And that's what I've found with journaling, is that the only difference is that it's on here. So instead of having to print out my photos, I just download them and put them in here. But yeah, I do want to go through and try to work out how to export this, just in case, because I'm a paper girl, just in case at some point I think, you know what, I don't want to do digital journaling after all, and then I want to print out stuff. I want to make sure that I can and that I know how to do it. I think it's fairly simple. I've got a Wi-Fi printer, it shouldn't be that hard. Anyway, let's do a quick journal flip, shall we? Not much has changed, because like I say, I've been doing a lot of that's changed. I figured out how to do that. Oh. She's lovely. I could sit and listen to her all day. I've had her videos on, like, I just went into her channel and hit play all and just started watching her because she's so calming to listen to. It's lovely. Anyway, so you've seen all these. This is the beginning of the month when I fell into the trap of, oh, I must do a spread every day. I don't know why I do that, because I never work like that. But as soon as I'm confronted with a new way of doing things, or a new book, or a new, you know, I automatically fall into that. Oh, yes, let's do a page a day. So this was the beginning of the month where I was doing a page a day, and I really wasn't happy with it. I was enjoying it. I wasn't, you know, it was fun, but I was really not getting the most out of it, I think. And then after week 1, so that's all week 1, week 2 I started doing more sketching. So you'll see a lot more imported pictures. I thought I'd changed the backgrounds on all these, but apparently I haven't. I've still got, you know, gaps where I go back and write in. My gypsy girl. Somebody asked me, I was doing a Q&A on Instagram, and somebody said, do you still miss the dog you had to give up 3 years ago when you moved house? Well, yeah, duh. Of course I do. Pretty much think about her every day. But she's in a good place. She's got a good fur mum who looks after her very well, and she's enjoying herself, so she's happy. I started doing a bit of a hybrid of let's collect stuff and then write stuff and then do sketching, and then just I don't know, what are dates, you know? Who is the recommendation for? I missed it. Oh, Mariana's Study Corner. She's fab. Just watching her makes you feel organised. But she's got one of those voices I could just listen to for hours. Then I started sketching. This was the original sketch of the girl I did. And what I've started doing was putting in... Sorry, I've got the brightness up too high for you to see. There we go. Is that better? No, a little bit less. I forget I can't have the brightness up. There we go. Now you can see properly. So this was the first sketch I did of that girl that I finished this morning. And then the sketch I did of the park. I figured out that the easiest way actually to put a crease down the centre of here was I simply went into add a shape, picked the line, set the line to be, well, the paper's grey, so I set it to white. No, I didn't. I set it to grey, actually. I set it to grey and 50%, and I set it to, I think, 5 wide. And then I rotated it that way, and I stretched it to the full width of the book. And then I got the orange bits and put them where I wanted them to be, so it was at the right angle, and voila, you end up with a line down the middle of your book. Let's undo that. Undo, undo, undo. There we go. What app are you using? This is the Metamoji Note, which I've got my journal, my planner and my notebook in, and all my loose notes. But this was actually drawn in Autodesk Sketchbook. So what I do is I've set up the background of my page. When you set this up, you add a page, and it's a, let me show you. Add a page. Add using a particular paper style. There we go. So I normally just pick landscape plain, and I set it in the in the paper settings, not the note settings. Sorry, but what you're seeing on screen is a heck of a lot easier to see than what I'm seeing, because I've got the screen turned way down so that it picks up on camera properly, but I can't actually see what I'm doing very well. So bear with me while I fumble around hitting the wrong things. Change the background. Select from an album. I set it to the size of the paper, and then in here I've got the image of the open book. So that's the image I'm using. I set the paper to, because I've set it as the background of the page now, this won't change. This is effectively the white piece of paper you were looking at before. So paper, change back, no, you can't do it all at once. You have to do it in steps. It's quite annoying. Change the paper size. I set it to 16:9 landscape, which is roughly 2 squares, see? And then I add my photos. So, for instance, I add a photo from the album in here like this. I come in, I pick my picture that I want to put in, and then I can, I can set her like that on the page. Okay? But this actual girl was drawn in Autodesk Sketchbook, which is a freemium app. You can have it on any device. I think it doesn't work below iOS 10. So if you're on iOS 9, it doesn't actually work. But the old version still works. So you just have to track that down. The original free version of this, because it's only recently gone like this. So I set up my, say, 16:9 canvas. I import, if I'm doing a full page like the park one, I import the whole picture of the background. If I'm just doing the girl, I would just draw on the page. So I can then set it to be the whole background. So this, this is the one bit I don't like about this, trying to get these to fit. especially when you can't see what you're doing. There we go. So now that that's on the page, I can draw on top of it. That's effectively my background. So I just lock that layer and draw on top, and then export that picture and import it back into my Metmoji. If I'm just doing something that I'm going to put on the page and it's not a full page spread, then I don't bother with this. I just use this, draw what I want, and then when you export it, it goes into this page here, just like she did, and you import it into your book. So it's really easy to do. You can actually export direct from Autodesk into Metmoji Note, but this doesn't have enough memory to do it. It can't really run both programs at the same time effectively. And swapping things between the two, it's like, nah, not playing. Not playing today. Let's not say we did. So that was my sketch, and then I coloured it in. Again, I put the line down the middle afterwards. It just, I don't know, it just, to me it looks better. You can barely see it, but it looks better to me, and that's what matters, isn't it? I'm going to a wedding tomorrow, so I've done a layout for what I'm going to wear. I'm going breakfast at Tiffany's inspired. And then, like I say, this is the girl that I finished this morning, which is the colour version of her. So I've got a black and white and I've got the colour. I'm enjoying saving different stages of pictures. Like for this one, I can edit this image so that, because originally I wasn't sure if I was going to colour her in here, but I can cut this image down like that and put her there, and then really easily I can add a photo next to it, and I can put the colour version that I did. Let's do the close-up of her face. So I can make that a bit bigger. And I can maybe overlap that one a bit, like that. Whoops. Come on, don't be silly. Stop it. There we go. Cut that in. There we go. So I could even do that a little bit bigger. So I'm enjoying this, being able to save things at different stages, and you know, putting the drawing, and here's what she looked like after I'd done her face, and then, you know, here's the finished piece, and I've got that one in there. I might as well leave that in there as well. So let's cut her, paste, swap these two over. See, super easy. There's no way I could have done that in an ordinary book, because if I'd stuck her in, you know, I'd have to redraw her several times in order to save all the stages, or take a photograph and print it out, or scan her and print it out, and it's just, I don't know, it's just a different way of working. I'm enjoying being able to save the stages of my sketches and say, well, this is what it looked like when I first drew it, and here's what it looked like by the time I'd finished colouring it. Started searching for a pen for my Samsung tablet A7. I'm having trouble finding anything other than a plain stylus pen. Oh, I recommend getting something that looks like... they're called a disc stylus. Oh, that was a big stretch. Probably shouldn't have leant over that far in the chair. These are called disc styluses. Sadly, it doesn't work with my tablet since I jailbroke it. For those who aren't familiar with it, I upgraded. This is a Samsung Galaxy Note 10.1 that was running Android 4.1. It was very slow, was very cumbersome, and it couldn't run half the programs that I wanted. So I did what they call jailbreaking it and put my own system on here up to 4.4.2 Android. This is what you need if you want a precision stylus for something that doesn't have its own stylus. You see it's got a disc and they work really well. Actually, does it work with my... Oh, it works, here you go, it works with my what do I have? You can see how fast it works. These are really good if you want something to draw with, because they've got the little black point, but they've also got a clear disc. Once you get used to it, it's actually very good. I actually prefer this stylus over this, but this one doesn't work anymore with this. And if you can find them, I highly recommend this company, the Friendly Swede. Their styluses are amazing. They come with several different nibs already. They don't just come with one nib. They come with several nibs. They're flat, they're closed pack, so you can, you know, you unscrew it and unscrew it that way and things. You can get one. They've actually done an upgraded one of these now that's got a pen on the other end, which is useful if you're a regular journaler as well. I highly recommend these guys. Their customer service is fabulous. The Friendly Swede, and it's called a disc stylus. So if you don't have something that has its own stylus, then that's what I would go with, a disc stylus. If you want to do drawing, if you just want to write, then anything will do, as long as it works with how you write. So it's just a case of going and trying it out. As far as writing, now I've had a few people ask me about writing in this. What I've found, it's easier to write cursive than it is to write print. So if you normally print, what I normally do, like for a header, I add one of these straight lines. Oops. And I use that as a guide. So that's the top of my thing. And then you can just copy and paste. Make them way wider than you want them to be. And then which pen you use is personal preference, but for me, I've actually found that the pen that I normally like to write with is the pen that works best, which is a normal 4mm fine liner. So I've got it set to 4, black, and I'm just using the regular fine liner. I do actually like the fountain pen as well. The fountain pen is quite nice, but the fountain pen works slightly differently. I'll show you that in a second. But yeah, literally I just zoom in and then beauty of this is that if you mess up a letter, you can really easily fix it. Like, oh no, I've done my E really badly there. Let's do that again. You know, it's super easy to fix. Plus you can, that's not quite right. Let's redo that. There we go. It's easy to adjust your lettering and, you know, change the size, and then all I do is I take these two and I drop it down and I write underneath. What the hell is that? There we go. Like that. Again, you can tweak it if you want to tidy it up a little bit, you can. Get rid of that bit. Move them back down. So that's how I'm doing my headers. To draw and write, yeah, go with the disc stylus then. If you can't get something with a proper spike on it like this, go for a disc stylus. You can look at the Wacom ones as well, but they don't all work with tablets. You've got a Samsung tablet, haven't you? They do tend to work with Samsung tablets, but if you look for what you're trying to find on Amazon first, and usually either in the questions or in the specs, it will tell you if it works with your tablet. So yeah, then you can just remove your guidelines and you go back in and you go, oh, that's a bit, I actually wanted it a bit bigger than that on the page. So I'll just make it a bit bigger, put it in the centre. I think actually I'd quite like to change the colour. I wanted a different colour. Let's change the colour. Let's do blue. There we go, that's better. It's fun adding shapes and stuff. You can do this with highlights as well, if you don't want to be quite so precise. Send that to the back. Bit too bright. Change the opacity. Ugh. That's the line opacity. Change the fill opacity. Here we go. There. You catch up later. Okay, see you then. Bye. As far as writing goes, what I've been doing is using graph. So I add paper using graph, and I write what I want on the paper. So I'll use the fountain pen just to show you how the fountain pen is a little bit different. Let's reset it to 4. I had it on 5 because I was doing titles earlier. What I found is, it takes a little bit, it takes a couple of words to get into writing each time I do it. So I just start writing and eventually, see how it's suddenly evened out? See how it started really weird and it suddenly became really fluid? So I just start with a sentence and then I just start. Okay, what are you doing? That's this button down here. This bar. Seriously, Samsung, this bar is so annoying. What's the point of having apps that recognise when you've got your palm on the screen if the bar itself doesn't recognise you've got your bar on the screen? Sorry. It's my pet peeve for the day. It's really annoying though. So now I would just start. And it looks a lot better. Does this work cross-platform in a workable form? Android and Apple, yeah. I use an iPhone and an Android tablet, so I use cross-platform apps. And if you go to Mimi's channel, she's actually doing a series of tutorials with links to previous tutorials that she's done on how to use cross-platform apps and how to sync them across devices. So once I've got my writing how I want it, and you know, I could go, oh well, I don't like the way that's sitting, so let's move that over there. I reckon I could make 2 lines almost the same width if I do it like this. That looks much better. So there's my writing, cut, go to the page I want to put it on. Let's pop it in here. Paste, and then you just, you know, resize it or whatever. Oh, actually I could have put it on 4 lines, it would have worked better. So let's go back to my original page, put it back in there. And I'm not being overly perfectionist about it, I'm just changing things to fit. If I was doing this, I mean, normally I'm pretty good with writing, but if I was doing like a header or something, I would sketch it out roughly, very roughly, in pencil, and then I would adjust it as I wrote it in pen. So I'm not really doing any more work than I normally would. I'm just changing it to fit what I want and where I want to put it. Ooh. Stop it. So I can put it in there, or I could make it smaller and use that as a all the text or whatever. You get the idea. The other thing I do is I've got a grid version of my paper. So that, I don't know if you can see, but this book has grid paper over the top of it. Don't ask me how I did that. It was completely accidental. And then this one is a plain one. So I've written sample across the middle. And then whichever one you want, you just add a page using the current paper and it automatically puts it in for you without anything that's written on the front. So I can write straight into here, which is the fountain pen. So this is the fountain pen. It's got kind of a, I don't know if you can see it, it gets thicker and thinner in places. So if you use it as a really broad nib, you can do that weird writing that I can't do, where it's see where it goes up, it goes thin at the ends. I can't do it. I don't have the coordination to do that whole down, up, down, up, down, up thing. There's also a brush pen. Which again has, this is nice for inking actually. I like this one for inking straight on the page because it's it gives a nice fluid line. But for writing, I actually prefer this one, which is what I would normally write, which is a fine liner. And you don't get variation in the thickness. If you like the variation in the thickness look, then this is the way to go. Especially if you don't have even pressure. If you are one of those people who is a little bit, because this is pressure sensitive, if you are one of those people who's got uneven pressure when you write, then the fountain pen works really well. Doesn't make much difference for me because I've got a very even pressure because I write with a ballpoint pen, so I'm used to consistent writing, if that makes sense. So that's my sketchbook. My, oh, accidentally copied my planner. Don't know how I managed that. I changed my planner up this week to use the Passion Planner, which I've put 2 pages to a day. I was previously just using one that I'd MacGyvered together, which was working fine. It was okay. There's nothing wrong with it. I just fancied a change. That's what I do. There are palm rejection apps and hacks apparently. Just did a search. Yeah, it's not that it's not the palm rejection. The palm rejection works perfectly. The problem is this bar here, and you can't get rid of that bar. It's always there, and it doesn't auto hide. Shh, baby. Hi. Hello, baby. Hello, baby. Oh, belly rubs for Maddie. But Maddie hasn't had attention in at least 20 minutes. Belly rubs for Maddie. There we go. There you go, my love. Yeah, it's this bar that you can't get rid of. They've since changed it on later ones to have a button on the side like the Apple does, because those 3 things there are the equivalent of the Apple button. And Samsung have changed theirs now so that you've got a home button. See, my Note 3 has a home button. So you don't have that annoying pop-up. But on this, you can't get rid of it. So it's not the palm rejection. The palm rejection works perfectly. It's recognising that I don't want to press that. That's the problem. So, Passion Planner working great. I like it. It's all right. It's cool. What can I tell you? It's exactly the same as I've been doing everything else with. That's it. I can't tell you anymore. I'm doing exactly the same thing as I always do, even in a paper planner. I'm just blocking out time and writing lists. That's it. It's easy to edit. For instance, yesterday, I didn't do anything yesterday. I took a mental health day. By which I mean I slept. I had so many days this week where I got up and I missed my alarm, and it's not like me to miss an alarm. My alarm goes off, I'm like, oh, do I have to get up? Maddie's like, yeah, gotta pee. I'm like, okay, getting up now. But this week, for some reason, I kept going back to bed and just falling asleep again for another couple of hours. So yesterday, I said, right, I don't have anything I must do today, so I'm just going to take a day off and leave my alarm off and sleep. And I didn't wake up until 3:30. And I managed to stay awake until 7:30, and then I went back to bed and slept right the way through until this morning. So I obviously needed it, so I took the day off. Working all day today, obviously. So it's literally just a case of copying and pasting the blocks of time that I want, and then writing in what I've been doing. My to-do lists are going down here. So, but I'm using my Bitmojis for stuff that I don't have to just write in. So, laundry, had to do some laundry. That's it really. Got to do some grocery shopping, so add photo from photo or album, Bitmoji. Shop. High quality. Because I'm fussy and I don't like the white backgrounds, I do usually put them into Autodesk and erase the white background, but for now I'm just showing you how I import it. There you go, do some shopping. Got to do the grocery shopping. Oh, we have no food for the puppies. So that's my planner stickers. That's pretty much it for my planner. It's really not a huge difference. This is the whole basis that One Book July was created on, was having a system that no matter what you put it into, it works. And I think I've proved that my system works, because I've gone from, over the years, I've jumped in and out of all sorts of different systems, paper planning systems, and now I'm using a paper planner in a digital format, and that works, and I used it in a purely digital format as well, and that works. And I'm pretty sure that if I just used my calendar application, I could do it as well. I hadn't actually thought about doing it in the calendar app until I watched one of Mariana's videos. She has where's the calendar? Oh, do I even have calendar app on here? I might not actually, because I've hidden all the ones that I don't use. Huh. Or am I just blind and I can't see it? calendar. There we go. So the reason I'm not using this at the moment is because although it would be incredibly convenient to, like I say, just block in time and things like that, and there are various ways of doing it, I actually prefer using the Apple calendar, the iCal, but of course I can't use iCal on here. And it's far too small on here to be able to use effectively. So I'm just putting in my timed appointments so that I don't miss things. I would much rather use a calendar that I can see all of it together and still see it on my phone. So I've got to find a calendar application that works similar to iCal, but that works on here as well. That's perhaps something I'll do this week, is find a calendar that I can set it up like this, because Mariana has on her channel a way of, she does the same thing as I do. She calls it calendar blocking, where you literally, ooh, that's weird. Why does it keep doing that? You literally block out time and you change the colour of the appointment according to what kind of thing it is, which is exactly what I do, but I'm doing it on a paper planner. I'm wondering if I can use maybe Google Calendar or something like that and put it all in there. That's cross-platform. I might try Google Calendar. I don't like the layout of Google Calendar though. I need to find a cross-platform calendar app to be able to do it. Because I think I could use a calendar app like this and set different colours for the appointments in the same way that I do on my planning page. Oh, I closed it. And then I could just import my task calendar. So I think that's something I might look into, actually, for next week. Why not? Yeah, let's try doing a calendar. The thing is, can I put in notes and things? That's going to be my big thing, is whether I can put notes and things in. I can't just put a sticky note on this. I can't just put in a picture where I want it. That would be the big thing for me. I would have to forego my stickies and pictures, or find another way of doing it. Anyway. Any more questions? Doesn't have to be about digital journaling. Can be anything to do with One Book July. Yeah, while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to go and get Google Calendar and just see. Something about Google Calendar, I seem to remember I didn't like the way it worked. I didn't like the function of it, but I've already got all my calendars and task lists set up in Google from when I've used it before, so maybe it could work. Maybe I could just rename my calendars and then... Because the way... I'm not sure what program she uses, but the way Mariana does it, rather than using one calendar and putting everything into it, she has several calendars set up. So for instance, I would have a YouTube calendar that was pink, a Patreon calendar that was orange, an appointments calendar that was yellow, a tasks list, you know, and maybe do it that way, rather than having one calendar that you put everything in and try to make one calendar work. She uses several calendars all at the same time and just overlays them. Yeah. Whatever. Got it. Yes, whatever. I know it all integrates. Google rules the world. I know. Let's just make sure I'm in the right... Oh, it's picking up everything. So it's picking up... See, all my calendars are already set up already. I've just got to pick which ones I want to use. But that's set up as my work. I don't want that one. That's set up as my work one, my personal one, and my Samsung one. So what I'll do is set it up on the account that I use for this tablet so that it doesn't mess with any of my other calendars. I don't want autosync, go away. So, where's July? That's this week. Ooh, nothing planned, tap to create. Oh, I like that. Nothing planned. Yeah, Carrie uses Fantastical, I think. I'm trying to keep my planning, tracking, and projects to 2 apps right now. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Yeah. One thing I will tell you that is really useful is Do It Tomorrow. Do It Tomorrow app is fab because it's just a list. Anything that's ongoing that I'm not sure when I'm going to find time to do it goes in my... Sorry, I'll turn the brightness down so you can see. Goes in my Do It Tomorrow. Oh, send the accounts. I've done that yesterday. I did that yesterday. Pay for dog food, got to sort that out. Do accounts, done that. Still doing those. So anything that I don't tick off today will automatically go onto tomorrow's list, along with anything I add to today. So add a new task. I'll just put laundry for now. Simple as that. So if I didn't cross that off today, it would go on tomorrow. So for apps, for things that I need to do that don't have a time limit or that are not that important, but I think, you know, when I get time, I'm going to. This is my when I get time list, because that's it. That's all you can do. You put something in, you cross something off, and the app automatically carries everything over to tomorrow. And then I've got the widget on my phone, and I just check it. You know, what have I got on there? Oh, I've done the laundry. I can cross the laundry off the list. There we go. That's that done. It's literally like just having a piece of paper there. And I find that with that, I find it really easy to stay on top of other stuff. This is a really good... You have to be very disciplined. So if you're not disciplined to check it every day, then I suggest putting your widget on the front page of your phone or something like that. But it works on my phone, it works on my tablet, it works on my iPhone, but you have to pay for the... Seriously, apps that are free on Android, but you have to pay for on iPhone. It's $3.99 on iPhone, it's free on here. And then all my collections I've got in Google Keep. I did that ages ago. I've moved all my collections to Google Keep a while back. So all of my lists and stuff I've got in here. And I've got it, again, I've got it set up because I've got 3 different accounts. So I've got my work lists under my Romany Gmail. My personal email, I've got my personal lists like books to read and films to watch and all that kind of stuff. And then my third one, that is the one I use for my tablet, is just anything else. Anything else I might want to keep a list of or try a list of or anything like that. Stuff that I don't really want to keep. Other people's lists and things that they give me that they want me to look at that I don't have time to put anywhere. I kind of use it as an inbox, really. But Google Keep is fantastic for literally for things that you need to keep. And again, it's cross-platform. And you can add Google Keep stuff. You can attach a Google Keep list. First of all, you can back it up in Google Drive, which is immensely useful, because you can just print it out if you want to. You can attach it to a calendar item. So you can make an appointment to do your grocery shopping and attach your shopping list to it. You can attach it to documents and you can email it to people. So it's really, really useful. I think if you've got multiple Gmail accounts, you can do a family account as well. I think that's what Carrie did with hers originally. So everybody can see the calendar, everybody can see the tasks list, everybody can see Google Keep, and you can all just put your information in there. So, yeah, I think for next week I might try using a calendar app. I'm going to have a mooch over on Carrie's channel and see what she's found. She doesn't use Android, you see, so it's a bit tricky. I've got to make sure that whatever I use is cross-platform, because not only do I use an iPhone and a Mac and an Android tablet and an Android phone, I'm also I'm definitely going to switch to an iPad at some point. It's just a case of saving up the money and doing it. It's not going to happen anytime soon. It might be this time next year. But everything else I own, I've now transitioned from or back to Mac. So I might as well have... I mean, if you've got a MacBook and you've got an iMac and you've got an iPhone, you might as well have a Mac tablet as well, and just it all syncs together then. Because, dude, AirDrop. AirDrop is the best thing ever. Definitely look at those apps. Currently have 2 Google accounts, so I might try splitting personal and school. That's what I do. I've got personal calendars, I've got work calendars set up. So I've got a work calendar that's orange that I use for Patreon, and then I've got a work calendar for YouTube that's pink. My system is not quite as set up as Mariana's, but it's along the same lines. I don't have my tasks lists in yet, but she's not actually using the tasks list. She's got a calendar set up for tasks to do and tasks completed. Her tasks to do is grey, her tasks completed is green, and she literally just moves the appointment from to do to completed to change the colour, which is a really simple way of doing it. I never thought of doing it like that, because Google Tasks is separate to Google Calendar, and although you can put it in your calendar, it starts getting a bit messy. So I think that's something I need to play with and see how it works and try different things, because you can, if you set up your 2 accounts on your account on here, you can see both together or just one or the other. That's appointments. There we go. So if I put on, oh, I don't have any in there yet. I've got some in there, and I've got reminders, and I've got, I don't know if there's birthdays this week, but we'll put those in. Didn't I just put something in my Samsung calendar? So I'll turn that one on, and then you can get a schedule. Ooh. Oh, I don't like the list view. I don't like the list view, I prefer days, but that's handy if you want to be able to see the calendar and the days. Maddie, stop it. That's for the week. So it zooms in on the bit of the calendar that you've got an appointment for. The day is linear. The month just looks like a month. Can you stop, please, you two? Hey. Scooby. Sorry, hang on. Scooby. Scooby. Come on. What are you making noise about? Your face is making a noise again. Why? Huh? Why is your face making a noise again? Let's not. Good boy. Good boy. See, you can be quiet when you want to. You're going to binge watch her videos for the rest of the day. Yeah, that's what I'm planning. That's my evening, in fact. It's going to be... I was going to do sketching, but I think now I'm going to play with calendar apps and see if I can set them up for next week. Doing laundry, or at least bringing the laundry in and putting out another lot on the line, and pizza and scary movie night normally, but I've run out of scary movies. If anybody's got any decent scary movies, or at least, I mean, I'll watch any old crap, honestly. Something that's supposed to be scary, but is actually just hilariously funny, like Paranormal Activity, which I got asked. I didn't get asked to leave the cinema exactly. I was told that if I didn't stop making so much noise, I was going to have to leave. Because I was laughing so hard. I couldn't control myself. It was hilarious. And the more people tried to get me to shush, the more people around me were like hiding behind their bags, the more I laughed. So yeah, if you've got any recommendations for actually scary movies, or even just movies that are a bit weird. I mean, I sat and watched The Ritual and actually enjoyed it. So, Shaun of the Dead. I love Shaun of the Dead. I watched that not long ago, actually. But yeah, that's... In lieu of not having any scary movies to actually watch, I might sit and watch some of Mariana's videos. Because she makes me feel organised just by watching her. She's great. So if there's no more questions... Oh, The House That Jack Built. Yes, I want to see that one. That actually looks quite good. I like it when I look at a trailer and instead of thinking, yeah, that looks hilarious, I immediately think, ooh, I want to watch that. I think The House That Jack Built might actually be scary. I haven't seen a film that actually scared me. Not even scared. Final Destination left me feeling a bit... Ugh. I wasn't scared, but I was a little bit paranoid. After I came out of the cinema, this is the first Final Destination, by the way. The first one and the second one are good. After that, it's just ridiculous. Final Destination 1 and 2 are very good. The first one was the first of its type. And it was... I sat and watched it in the cinema, and I thought I was fine. We were talking about the film. We were like, yeah, it was really good. Oh, that bit then, and oh yeah, that I really liked that bit. And just talking about the film. And I went to get in the car to drive home, and I was like, I cannot get in this car right now. No. If I get in this car, like a telephone pole is going to fall on top of me or something. I ended up having to go and have a coffee and come back and just let the film get out of my head. And then the next one that actually scared me, was Insidious. The first one was really scary. I don't know what it was about it that scared me, but I was like, oh, hell no, I'm watching this with the lights on. Other than that, I honestly can't name a film that's actually scared me since Insidious. The Descent was really good. But I don't think The Descent was scary. I think it just played on natural fears. A lot of people have a fear of falling. It's a natural kind of... even the bravest people, you see... really not rock solid, unshakable people. They tilt a little bit too far back on their chair and they go, ah! It's like a natural fear that you cannot help. So I think that's why that was a little bit... It had me on edge. It didn't scare me. But it did. I was a little bit, ooh, what's happening next? I think I'm just immune to it. I read too much true crime and all that kind of stuff. That's far scarier. Anything that's made up, just... Why would it scare me? It's made up, Mandy has potential. I don't know. Possibly. I'm not... Oh, Japanese movies and TV series. What is with Japan? Ordinary Japanese, for want of a better word, soaps are scary enough. Japan has some seriously scary movies. I mean, The Ring, the original Japanese movie of The Ring, you don't even have to know what they're saying and it's scary as hell. They do scary visuals like no one else. But yeah, I think I've seen too many to be surprised by them anymore. Not a Nicolas Cage fan, but I'm a little bit put off about him being in Mandy. I quite like Nicolas Cage. I don't mind him. He's kind of innocuous. But I think, from what I've seen of Mandy, I think John Cusack would have been a better choice. But we'll see. Heredity. No, I haven't seen Heredity yet. Hereditary. Haven't seen it yet. Because a lot of our films come out after yours, so... Yes, John Cusack is great in thrillers. Ooh, I might have to watch Edgar Allan Poe. The Raven. Have you seen him in The Raven? I love that film. Anyway, we're getting off track. Time to wrap it up. So yeah, that's my plan for week 4, I think, is I'm going to try and integrate what I normally do into a proper calendar rather than just a... You haven't seen The Raven? Oh my God, he's amazing in it. He plays Edgar Allan Poe and he just does this swan dive from slightly crazy writer that seems like he might have ADHD to completely batshit. Whoosh! But it's also a ghost story, and it's also a thriller, and it's also a murder mystery, and it's got a feel of gothic horror to it that's like Crimson Peak almost. It's very good. It's one of my favourite films. I absolutely love it. Go check it out. And Luke Evans plays the policeman in it. Luke Evans and John Cusack. I mean, come on. Japanese and the weird things they do in their movies and TV series. Their reality TV is weird enough. Anyway. Wrapping up. This is what happens when the lag in the chat happens. Have I seen Clue? Yeah, everybody's seen Clue. I don't think there's many films that I have seen that haven't seen with Tim. Oh my God, his name's just completely gone out of my mind. Rocky Horror Show. He's like best actor ever. Why has my mind gone blank? I haven't seen it though. I actually have a fear of clowns. I cannot handle clowns. Well, actually masks. Tim Curry, thank you. I can't handle masks or pseudo-humans. Things like that really bother me. I can't. No. Clowns are weird. So even I can't see it, even though I know that under that mask it's Tim Curry and he's not actually a clown, he's an alien. And I don't think that's a spoiler because, come on, that book's been out for like 40 years or something. Well, maybe not that long. 25 maybe, I don't know. Anyway, even the fact that it's Tim Curry under there couldn't make me watch that film. But yeah, I don't think there's many films with Tim Curry in that I haven't seen. I love him. He's amazing. Right, I'm going to wrap up. I'm going to go and see if I can figure out my calendar. And see if my system works in a digital calendar as opposed to a hybrid analogue notebook that I've put onto a computer. I think that'll be a good challenge for week 4. Journal's working fine. If you go over on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Romany, I've been doing some digital painting, colouring. You can see the the colouring I did of this girl and the drawing of this girl over there, this one, in all her different stages. I've also got this one, which I haven't finished her yet, and this, which I can't find the original file for. I have a horrible feeling I've deleted it, but it was good while it lasted. And if you're interested in doing some tutorials on how to do this stuff and how to use Autodesk Sketchbook, I've been doing some tutorials on drawing symbols and how to do an underlay sketch and an overlay and how to ink and exactly how to use Autodesk over on my Patreon if you are interested in that. So, lots to do, lots to play with. I'm going to go and order pizza now because it's Friday. It's pizza night. Miss Maddie will be very happy. I don't know what she's doing. She's just kind of sitting out in the garden staring at the fence. Weird. Anyway, have a good weekend and I'll see you all again on Monday. Bye.